Hi everybody, welcome to Art 3160 Foundation of Art. This is your first week, your first lecture, and in this lecture we're going to talk about what is art education. Hopefully you've seen the orientation video, but in case you haven't, again, my name is Yvette, and I just want to tell you a little bit about my background. I am starting my 24th year of teaching, and specifically, it's pretty much always been in the arts. I have a BA in film and video production. I have a master's in education with a specialization in cross-cultural teaching. I have an MFA in studio art practice with an emphasis in photography and video. I got a K through 12 art credential, and I have a CTE, which is a career and technical education credential in arts, media, and design. So I got a lot of schooling. I got a lot of experience. So I hope that you really like this class, and we're going to do this together. So are you ready? All right, so what is art education? So again, welcome to this course called The Foundations of Art. In our first module, we're going to dive into the core question, what is art education? And we'll be exploring this topic from several different perspectives to get a well-rounded understanding. I'm going to tell you some truths, okay, in this class and throughout this whole thing. Okay, there's not one way, there's not one answer. And the best way that you're going to find yourself becoming a really great teacher is a couple of things. One, have love and empathy for your students. You're not better, you're not this, you're not that. They're just people trying to learn. Okay, so approach things with care, and we'll talk about that towards the end. And the other thing is that the way that you're going to get just to be a good teacher is through experience. Find yourself a mentor, find yourself the ability to volunteer in a school and learn like that. All of these things that you're going to have to do to get your credential are required work, and they're going to make you a more robust person. But really, experience is gained through action. Okay, so in the next slide, the creative gap. So you want to make sure that you go ahead and you click on that link so you get to make sure you see the infographic. But let's start with a problem. So according to the Adobe State of Create, there's a big gap in creativity. And with that, okay, so 80% of this world, 80%, okay, believe that creativity is valuable, right? Like you yourself know creativity is valuable. That's why you're in this program. But a staggering 75% of people feel that they're under pressure to be productive instead of creative. Is that true? It totally is true. I can relate to that. I'm constantly working right now in order to kind of prep for classes and stuff like that. And then I work to find the moments that I can find my creative self. Okay. So with that, 1 in 4 people believe that they're actually living up to the creative potential. So in this next slide, rethinking education. Okay, this brings us to a bigger question in our educational system. So is the system itself stifling our creativity? And the way that we teach today is often based on a model from the past. I want you to make sure that you watch the video. It's about 11 minutes, okay? But it's a good video because it's going to connect you to the actualization that education is based on the Industrial Revolution. It's based on this traditional education system, okay? So go ahead and watch this video, and then I'll connect with you again. Okay, so you've watched the video, and I just want to ask you, how does this apply? Like, now that you've watched the video, how does this apply to art specifically? You know, what's coming up in your mind? Okay, so in the next slide, the Prospective Art Teacher's Idea. So let's turn to the first reading by Beth A. Thomas. Her research focused on what students think art education is before they began their training. And she found out that most of them were rooted in what she calls traditional discourses, which centers on teaching skills, encouraging personal expression, and being an inspirational role model. Those are all fantastic, right? Like, think about that. Yeah, I'm centered on like my teaching skills. Am I a good teacher? Do I lay things out? Am I organized? Am I encouraging that personal expression? And am I like being this inspirational model for people? So these ideas are often based on our own personal and positive experiences with former art teachers. kind of probably why you're here. Okay. So in this next slide, the challenge to care, the contrast to that is that to that personal individual focused view, in our other reading by Broome, his colleague proposes a totally different purpose of our education, and it's to foster an ethic of caring. This approach is more than just technical skills. It's about using art to connect bigger social issues, to teach empathy and compassion. And the author argues that this can help create a more peaceful society. So I have so much more to say, but I'm going to wait for the summary to kind of connect back with you on that. So how do we make it practical? So how can we put this caring approach into practice? And the article suggests 3 main strategies: thematic instruction, which uses themes like identity, social justice, community to guide lessons; a cooperative work environment, which encourages students to collaborate on projects, to practice empathy and teamwork; and then modeling care. So with modeling care as an instructor, are you demonstrating a caring persona to foster open, non-judgmental dialogue? So to summarize, what is art education? It's a really complex question with really tons of valid ideas and valid answers. And we look at it as a path to individual expression and skills building, but it's also a powerful tool for empathy and social change. In next week's lecture, we'll continue exploring the role of the art teacher, and we'll be connecting these ideas to some of the official California Visual Performing Arts standards. But before I leave you, okay, I want to just tell you some of my own personal views and from my own personal experience, and like kind of ask myself and kind of share with you, where am I today? Okay, so the reality is that I'm here because of an art teacher. I'm here because of my art teacher in high school told me to follow my love, to follow my passion, and that the money will follow me, right? Because think about it. My first study was photography and film. I got a degree in film and video production, but I approached it with that attitude, to find a passion, find a love, and do things with care and thought, and that things will kind of work out. And it has honestly been my path. Okay, so I started off with that. I started off with a really good art teacher who gave me those things. Okay, and most likely that could be your story. And then I went through teaching, and I was like, okay, how do I do this? Because it's really hard, because you're going to realize once you get in there, and that's why I'm telling you what I told you in the beginning, the way that you're going to learn is by doing. Okay, this is all going to make you a better, je ne sais quoi person, like wine. Okay, but it's the action and the experience that's going to make you a better teacher. It's going to make you realize that, dang, 90% of your classroom is going to be that classroom management, and you figuring out your systems to make it work. You figuring out in a system where you're with all these A-type people, but your brain is an artist. Okay, so you're going to have systems in there. And then with that, where am I today? I'm with that deeply caring, empathy like space. I have seen all my students, and I've kind of taken a step back, and I've asked myself, how many people am I going to make professional artists? And I am glad to say that I have made a handful of people. I know them, they're connecting with me, they're telling me they're being teachers and artists and just doing it all, right? And then the other huge bank is what I am giving to other people, which is an opportunity of expression, an opportunity of having a voice and learning to communicate in a way that they have not known how to communicate. It's going to that kid that was constantly at the principal's office, that was constantly creating problems, and you saying to them, I'll take them. And then in my story, bringing him into the dark room, teaching him how to print, and making him the print manager because he was so good. And hopefully changing something in that kid. So that will be the challenge to you, that I will really come at you. You can see my passion and my love for this. And really all I'm going to ask that you do through this course and through your journey is to think about it through that care and compassionate way, and think about all the teachers that you didn't connect with and that were mean and just not great people. They were tired, right? And the people who actually connected with you through love and empathy. A few years ago, just kind of continue on, I had a principal and he got on the PA and he was a big, tall baseball player. And he said, and I love you guys. And the kids turned to me all puffed up. What did you say, Miss Martell? And I said, oh, he said that he loved you. And you know what? I love you. And I will tell you the truth, it changed that school. It changed that school and it changed me. And I started approaching my pedagogical practice with that. And today, I approach it even with more humility. And I say to my students, thank you for giving me the honor and the opportunity to share my love and my passion with you. So that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this lecture. I hope that you saw a little bit of passion, a little bit of connectiveness, because this is an asynchronous class, right? And there's that disconnection. So I'm going to do my best, and I hope that you do your best. I'm excited to see your next assignment. I'm excited to see all the things that you're going to turn in. And thank you, everybody.